We didn't know when. I don't know how to first say. Nope.
No, you. But chocolate's too old.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. You're wonderful. I have sent you. No problem. If I miss you today, I'll get you next week.
Today, month. It's my dad's 90th. It's my dad's 90th on Monday the 29th. So we're celebrating Saturday the 27th. On the 29th. Except you're going to be 40. It's their first, all three of us are flying together. It's Randy and Haley's first flight in 4 years. Almost 4 years. I can't wait to hear your Adonai. I'm fine. I'm perfect. There was no need for to be the controversy. No need. I'm fine. One, two, 1, 2.
the same thing, and then adding the second part in.
One, two, one, two.
One, two, one. Yeah. So we Adonai and Acharei, the same. So Adonai and Acharei is going to be the same. And then they add the rain, which is going to go in the second part. Adonai is the second part. Listen to it.
Follow her.
Follow me.
Yes, we'll begin. Kiesh Mara. All right. Shabbat Shalom, Betham. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. Thank you. Good Shabbos to each and every one of you. Thank you for braving the cold conditions outside. But we're delighted to welcome you this evening. Thanks to our volunteer choir for being with us tonight. On your behalf, we want to wish a very hearty Shabbat Shalom to all of our fellow Bethamniks and visitors who are on live stream. Thank you for joining us as well. So without further ado, we invite you to take out a copy of our Siddur, our prayer book, and invite you please to turn to page 7, if you would. On page 7, words attributed to the late Rabbi David Molish of blessed memory. Where has this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will we ever recover anything from it? The joy of life, the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished? Will we ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let us keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let us be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat, abide. Help us to withdraw for a while from the flight of time. Contain the retreat of the hours and days from the grasp of frantic life. Let us learn to pause, if only for this day. Let us find peace on this day. Let us enter into a quiet world this day. On this day, Shabbat, abide. Page 11, Ki Eshmara Shabbat, El Yishmareni.
Shmera
We invite you, please, to turn around one to the other and extend a very hearty Shabbat Shalom and a good Shabbos, please, if you would. Introduce yourself, if needs be, to a fellow Bethamnik that you might not know. As you greet one another, it's our pleasure to call upon fellow Bethamnik Sandy Young to please step forward, Hadakat Neirot LeShabbat, for the kindling of our Shabbat candles on page 3. Page 3. We invite you, please, to rise at this time, if you're able to. Oh. Do you want me to hold it? I can hold it. It's fine, absolutely. Ready for that? Page 3.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take words we shall speak into our hearts and into our lives. Bless all who enter the sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher yishanu b'mitzvotav, asher yishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Thank you, Sandy. Good Shabbos. Thank you, dear. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you very much, Sandy.
Yep.
And welcome back from Morocco. We are going to, of course, Kiddush and Motzi at the end of the service. We're going to continue as we join with cantor, mark, and choir, our beloved Erev Shabbat anthem, pages 20 and 21, L'cha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabla.
L'cha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat. Shabbat, the Kabbalah, Shamor v'zachor b'tim urachat, Yishmiradu elcham yochad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shem tiferet b'alit kela, L'chad odi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat, L'Kabbalah, L'chad odi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat l'chov endelcha, ki makor k'beracha, mirosh v'keh
שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה כי תוררי כי מורי אורי שתברי כל מטלוני עלייך נגלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה בואי בשלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצוחלו תוך אמוני אמסכולה בואי חלום לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה. That's becoming fast one of my favorite melodies. I love it. Beautiful. Yep. Mark, you agree? Yep. Good. Yasher kochachim. Beautiful. Thank you. Page 24, we welcome the Malachei HaSharet, God's ministering angels. Somehow we believe they bequeath to us for this 25-hour period of Shabbat, this Neshama Yeterah, this additional soul. May it inspire us to acts of kindness and of goodness throughout Shabbat. Amen. Bagala ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מפורח לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה. יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקדושה בריחו לעילא מן כל ברכת הבשירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה ויאמרו אמן.
ברכו את אדוני, המבורך.
לעולם ועד.
לעולם, 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 לעולם.
ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר בדברו מעריב ערבים, בחוכמה פותח שערים, ובתבונה משנה עתים, ומחליף את הזמנים, ומסדר את הכוכבים, במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו. בורא יום ולילה, גולל אור מפני חושך, וחושך מפני אור. ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה. אדוני צבאות שמו. חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב ערבים. אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת. תורה מצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת. Together. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, and yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai. Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema
Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Baruch Shem Kevod Malachuto
Leolam Vaed. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi
Matzavecha
Hayom al vavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibartam b'shivtecha b'beitecha ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים
להיות לכם
לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם
אמת.
אמת. Page 39. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. Together. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, we overcame oppressive forces. And though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
Marki padadonai te Yaakov, o galom yat chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai,
Baruch hu v'rak shemo.
Kol Yisrael.
Page 373, O guide my steps.
Oh, guide my steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps and help me make this day a song of praise to you. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Oh, guide my steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps and help me make this day a song of praise to you. Rock me peace and guide my steps. Oh, guide my steps. Oh, guide my steps. Oh, guide my steps.
Page 43. As we read together, let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim.
ושמרו בני ישראל, את השבת לעשות, את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
שמרו בני ישראל, את השבת לעשות, את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו
בני ישראל, לדורותם ברית עולם.
וביום השביעי שבת וינחש. וביום השביעי שבת וינחש.
שמרו בני ישראל, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. The words of the late great Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel. A thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat arrives in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night. Eternity utters a day. If you're able to, we rise for the tefillah.
Adonai Sabatai Tifach, Ofi Agishagi Vatecha, Baruch Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu Imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Israel.
This evening, silently Balachash, tonight through page 60. So we'll continue silently through page 60. Those who need to be seated now, by all means, feel free to do so. And then we'll look forward to Shalom Rav in a short while.
Shalom Rav al Israel Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Israel Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lachol shalom. Ki atahu Shalom, Shalom Rav al Israel Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Israel Amcha Tasim Leolam. Gatov v'necha levarech et Amecha Yisrael b'kol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
Tfilat Halev, we pause for a few moments of silent meditation, the prayers, the innermost private petitions of your heart, page 62.
Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי תבל, ועל כל ישראל ועמהם. שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי תבל, ועל כל ישראל, ויאמרו Amen. Bring peace, bring love, bring peace, bring love, bring peace, bring love, bring peace, bring love. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל תבל, ועל כל ישראל, ויאמרו Amen. Yadadai, 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 yadadai. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו.
כל הכבוד.
Nefesh Mountain gave us this beautiful song. Yeah, that's Nefesh Mountain.
Absolutely. Thank you for that reminder. Birkat Refuah, the blessing for healing, prayer for healing, page 253. 253. Misha berach avotenu Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov, ve'imotenu Sarivka, Rachel, v'Leah. Hu yivarech et hacholim hahem. HaKodesh Baruch Hu yimalei rachamim alehem. Lachlimam rapotam ulhachzikam. V'yishlach mehira refuah. Refuah shleima min hashamayim. Ruafat hanefesh. Urufat haguf. Betoch sha'ar cholei Yisrael. Hashata ba'agla. Ufisman kariv. V'nomar. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal as this Shabbat we call to mind Lauren Abrams, Cheryl Andriola, Cynthia Baylor, Joan Belchick, Bruce Bell, Bobby Braverman, Ellie Eigen, Irene Finkelstein, Bob Gamankin, Phyllis Hartman, Michael Hoffman, Spencer Leibowitz, David Lieberman, Jeffrey Liss, Robert Lustig, Larry Mance, Bob Mazer, Judy Schaff, Yaakov Ozer, Ben Shendel, Jane Simon, Jan Tannenbaum, Bonnie Fine Tannenbaum, Bev Tisdale, Don Webster, and Mitch Victor. If there are any other names that you'd like to publicly affirm or mention at this point tonight, please feel free to do so if you would. Steve? Thank you. Wendy? Thank you. Mark? Thank you very much. Karen? Thank you. Linda? Thank you. Bev? Thank you. Sandy? Thank you very much. Please, if you would, Richard. Shy?
Dan Green, proof of the efficacy of prayer.
He's called.
Mark Rodden and Martin Rodden.
May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and for their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send each a refuah shlema, a complete renewal of guf of body and of neshama and of soul. And let us say, Amen.
Before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. We shall bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
Shabbat Shalom, Betham. Good Shabbos to you and to yours. My younger brothers and I have to admit, enjoyed a really terrific upbringing at the southern tip of the African continent. Conveniently shielded, deliberately protected from the gross iniquities of apartheid, we white South African Jews led sheltered, pampered, privileged lives, totally oblivious of what the government was unleashing upon the much larger, disenfranchised, destitute black communities. To all intents and purposes, they may as well have lived 1,000,000 light years away. But that was then. So we went about our everyday lives in our exclusively white, wealthy enclaves, hugging the Atlantic Ocean, where the only blacks you would ever encounter were full-time domestic servants and gardeners. Jewish life itself was teeming. Back then, practically everyone belonged to a synagogue, and that's no exaggeration. And both our formal and informal educational experiences centered around the two great pillars that grounded the Jewish community: Judaism and Zionism. They were inseparable cornerstones that framed our formative Jewish identities. And to put it bluntly, the one could not exist without the other. It was a well-known fact that proportional to its population, never more than 120,000 at its height in the 1950s and 60s and 70s, South African Jews contributed more monetarily to the Jewish state than practically every other country in the world. And then, following outbreaks of civil unrest in the country, it was not uncommon for a disproportionately large number of Jewish families to make aliyah, to immigrate to Israel. And while it's true that subsequent waves of immigration led South African Jews to consider other far-flung corners of the English-speaking diaspora, I think it's largely true to say that Israel, and Israel alone, was always considered home away from home. A love of Yiddishkeit, familiarity with synagogue life and liturgical Hebrew, a deep awareness of the land and the state of Israel within the collective consciousness of the Jewish people, the key, pivotal, and central role of Zionism in the formation of the Jewish state, all these factors contributed to the relative ease with which South African Olim was successfully absorbed into the fabric of their new country. Many of the younger generation were fully prepared to serve in the IDF, Tzahal, the Israel Defense Forces, then and now. So imagine my surprise, please forgive me for my sarcasm, when I learned just earlier this week that IDF soldiers who are also South African nationals could face potential prosecution back home for actively participating in, according to the South African Foreign Ministry, an illegal war. It said it was gravely concerned that such nationals fighting in Gaza could, and I quote, potentially contribute to the violation of international law and the commission of further international crimes, thus making them liable for prosecution in South Africa, unquote. I wasn't aware of this, but evidently South Africans need prior government approval, itself an obvious non-starter, to fight legally in Israel, and are at risk of being stripped of their nationality for engaging in a war that the South African government does not support or agree with. Quite frankly, I couldn't think of a better badge of honor for these Jewish Olim to wear than being ceremoniously stripped of their South African citizenship. Of course, that should come as no surprise, given the current government's vocal, unequivocal support for the Palestinian cause. South Africa's president, Cyril Ramaphosa, has consistently aligned his party's struggle against apartheid with that of the beleaguered Palestinians' right for self-determination. The ANC, the ruling African National Congress, has strongly condemned Israel's response to the Hamas attacks and has already recalled its diplomats from Israel. And just earlier this week, Ramaphosa denounced the, quote, genocidal onslaught of the people of Palestine at a press conference with representatives of pro-Palestinian groups in Johannesburg. Yet not once has he condemned Hamas for the indiscriminate and unquestionable genocidal onslaught and slaughter that they perpetrated against perfectly innocent Israeli civilian men and women and children and babies on October the 7th. I don't know the South African Chief Rabbi, Warren Goldstein, personally, but I doff my kippah to him for his brave and tireless and relentless opposition these past several weeks to the president's hypocrisy. He has rightly accused Ramaphosa of fomenting anti-Semitism in the country where the government recently voted to suspend its diplomatic ties with Israel. Mr. President, you have set the tone for all of this because the South African government's targeting of Israel is in effect anti-Semitic, Rabbi Goldstein said. As a result, and I learned this earlier today and found it very interesting, the chief rabbi has instructed all Orthodox synagogues throughout the country under his rabbinic jurisdiction, which, by the way, constitute the overwhelming number of shuls in the country. He's instructed them to alter the prayer read on Shabbat and festivals for the government of South Africa. The new wording prays only for the welfare of the South African people, not its government. I've never said this before publicly. In the more than 34 years since I left the southern shores of Africa, but I truly fear for the safety and the protection and the well-being of the country's dwindling Jewish community, which probably today numbers no more than 50 to 60,000, which is about half of what it once was. I have consistently refrained from wanting to publicly admit that the proverbial writing might well be on the wall for those who choose to remain. That's a very difficult assertion. It's a very sad conclusion for me to have to make after all these years, given the wonderful Jewish community that I grew up in for the first 20 years of my life. In the wake of October the 7th and its aftermath, that relatively small, tight-knit community is now being overtly threatened. And it should come as no surprise. Pro-Palestinian sentiment is widespread throughout the country in much as the same way as it is here. The only difference being that whereas many pro-Palestinian colored and black activists in South Africa claim that Israel's treatment of Palestinians is analogous to apartheid South Africa, so left-wing anti-establishment progressives in America, Jews among them no less, have enthusiastically and loudly jumped on the proverbial bandwagon of empathy and compassion for, in their words, the subjugated, downtrodden, victimized, powerless, and innocent citizens of Gaza and the West Banks at the hand of a brutal, colonizing, occupying, genocidal Zionist entity. The fact of the matter is that the appallingly hypocritical reaction to the current Israel-Hamas war proves that so many Americans, especially young, ignorant, impressionable Americans, have little, if any, understanding or knowledge of the history and the context of the conflict between Israel and its arch-enemy. A massive 86% of American university students support the chant, you all know it, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Of course, we Jews know implicitly what that really means. In one word, Judenrein. And yet less than half of them were able to correctly identify the Jordan River and the Mediterranean Sea as the boundaries. We're not talking about middle or high school students, but rather those on college campuses. What a pathetic disgrace. And as you know, a recent survey reported that most 18 to 24-year-olds in this country believe that Israel should be terminated and given to Hamas and the Palestinians. 60% think that the October 7th attacks can be justified, while 67% stated that Jews are oppressors and should be treated as such. Note, not Israelis per se, but rather Jews. So the implication should be pretty clear if it isn't yet. Emotionally laden words like genocide and apartheid are intentionally used in a deliberate attempt to smear the Jewish state without any regard for the actual meaning of these terms. As you well know, from the corridors of power to lecture halls on campuses, Israel is being universally condemned for its genocide against Palestinians. Really? Let's look at the facts. In 1950, the life expectancy for Palestinians was 45.79 years. In 2023, it's 74.28, an increase of 28.49 years. That's an increased life expectancy in the targeted population of 62% in less than 80 years. You call that genocide? In 1950, the Palestinian population was 944,000. Today, it's 5,371,000. That's a 570% increase in population in less than 80 years. Forgive me. A state engaged in genocide would willingly increase a population almost sixfold in 3 generations? On the other hand, why not take Hamas at its word? One of their leaders, Ghazi Hamad, declared on Lebanese TV on October the 24th, and I quote, and you're familiar, "We will repeat the October 7th attack time and again until Israel is annihilated," unquote. If that isn't a call for genocide, I don't know what is. Dear friends, with Israel having already having lost the public relations war in the global arena yet again, the collective resolve of the Jewish people continues to be tested like never before. We are called upon to say and do whatever we possibly can to support Israel. Not, I would submit, unconditionally though, but to support Israel in its darkest hours, but most especially to pray for and to provide material assistance for the soldiers of the IDF, which for a moment, returning to South Africa, is precisely what a young 18-year-old David Teager, captain of the South African under-19 cricket team, did recently when he decided to dedicate his Jewish Rising Star Sporting Award to Israeli soldiers. He said, and I quote, "I'm now the rising star, but the true rising stars are the young soldiers in Israel. And I'd like to dedicate it to the state of Israel and every single young soldier fighting so that we can live and thrive in the diaspora." Unquote. 18. David Teager's remarks, by the way, caused an avalanche of protests, especially from the so-called Palestinian Solidarity Alliance, which has ties to Hamas and Iran, and as a result, he was suspended from Cricket South Africa. Protests erupted outside Herzliya by pro-Palestinians, the Jewish day school in Cape Town. Of course, the wild, boisterous, pro-Palestinian demonstrations currently being seen throughout the world underscore just how precarious, if not volatile, the current state of Jewish-Muslim relations are. We must be sure to remain as vigilant as ever, while at the same time recognizing that the hard-won, difficult, but essential conversations so carefully scripted over many years can, God forbid, unravel and disintegrate so quickly. Like you, I pray that never, ever happens. Shabbat Shalom. On a happy note, it's the, no, mind you, it's these, that's right, yep. I think they're 5 Fridays in December. So we decided that not next Friday night when we're going to be at home, but rather this evening, we would honor all December wedding anniversary couples. Are there any here tonight? As we suspected. As we suspected. But you know what, cantor, choir, you know what? Just in case, by the grace of God, there might be one or more couples on live stream who are celebrating this month. Yes, if you are, then we're happy. We're happy to acknowledge you in absentia, but we're going to, in your honor, we're going to read these words on page 263. You're welcome to join with me. Source of laughter and gladness, let your presence accompany these loving companions. Pour love over them, grant them growth, each alone and together. May health and devotion, laughter and understanding abound for them. May they have the strength to share life's sorrows, and may their love deepen and flower. Open their hearts to one another, and may their hands be open to family and to friends, to our people, indeed to all humanity, and to that let us say Amen. And so, ever being the eternal optimist, as we must be, we're going to join with Cantor and with Mark and our volunteer choir on page 349. In your honor. In your honor, Betham December wedding anniversary couples, Dodi Lee, page 349. Dodi Lee.
Dodi Lee, Va'ani lo haroeh, Shoshani, Dodi Lee, Va'ani lo haroeh, Shoshani, Mi sotola, Mi kamidbar, Mi zuatola, Bekoteret mor, Moro levana, Dodi Lee, Va'ani lo haroeh, Shoshani, Dodi Lee, Va'ani lo haroeh, Shoshani, Achoti kala, Libartini, Achoti kala, Libartini kala, Dodi Lee, Va'ani lo haroeh, Shoshani, Dodi Lee, Va'ani lo haroeh, Shoshani, Ori Safon, Ovayitema, Ori Safon, Ovayitema, Dodi Lee, Va'ani lo haroeh, Shoshani, Dodi Lee, Va'ani lo haroeh,
I know for a fact that there are several December wedding couples. So, Mazal Tov. Congratulations to you. Mazal Tov. Aleinu, page 282. Spectres and Jars. Mark, Jennifer, Jacob, Pearl, Steve, Jess. We invite the six of you to please step forward for the ark opening at this time. Second Hebrew paragraph, page 282. Oh, Mark, yeah. Thank you, Mark.
We get, go around, yes. Be careful.
Please be seated. Page 289. 289. The light of life is a finite flame. Like the Shabbat candles, life is kindled, it burns, it glows, it is radiant with warmth and beauty. But soon it fades, its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see, and in light we are seen. The flames dance, and our life burns down and gutters. There is an end to the flames. We see no more, and are no more seen. Yet we do not despair, for we are more than a memory, slowly fading into the darkness. With our lives, we give life. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal cycle of darkness and of death, but one also of light and of life. Page 295. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at the season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. Rabbi David Ellenson, Chancellor Emeritus of Hebrew Union College, Jewish Institute of Religion, and Stephen Levy, both who passed during Shloshim this first month. If you hear a loved one's name or names for Yahrzeit or Yahrzeiten, and if you feel comfortable at that point, please feel free to stand and to remain standing. Harry Adar, Edward Arnapole, Francis Bayless, Sarah Bell, Aaron Brodsky, Frank Burstein, Chad Dorfman, Esther Gross-Eilberg, Harry Elias, Betty Foreman, Lillian Fulmer, Melvin A. Gilman, Rosalind Glickman, Solomon Z. Goldberg, Reuben Greenfield, Jack Heimowitz, Charlotte M. Heyman, Irvin Jarrett, Abraham Katzman, Andrew Andy Lee Kaufman, Irma Korn, Seymour Kovnat, Albert Kramer, Richard Kronstadt, Martin Lavner, Rita Levinson, Esther Levy, Morris Lowenstone, Deborah Mandelbaum, Ethel Matteso, Louis Myers, Ariel Nahem, Olga Notus, Rosalind Perlman, Joseph Portnoy, Anne Rhodes, Molly Schechter, Phyllis Shine, Harry Shapiro, Abraham Silverstein, Carol Spector, Max Seikin, Murray K. Terrace, Molly Tischler, Herbert Uram, Bella Wiener, Alice Woloschen, Anna Zibman, and Anne Zucker, whose yahrzeit occurred during the course of this past week, and all those other dear ones whom we now remember with tender affection, together as always with these 6 million of our martyred brethren who perished in the Shoah, and all those who gave their lives and who continue to give their lives in defense of Medinat Yisrael, the state of Israel, and of these United States. Zichronam livracha, may all of their memories be for a blessing. Yit gadal v'yit gadash shmei rabba. Amen. V'yoma divrach hirute v'yamlich malchute b'chaye chon u'v'yom echon u'v'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'fizman kariv v'yimru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevorach li'olam u'lalmei u'lamaya. Yit barach v'yishtabach v'yit po'ar v'yit romam v'yit naseh v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shmei d'kudasha brichu leila minko birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata da'amiran ba'oma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlam rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May there be abundant peace from heaven and life for us and all Israel, to which we say, Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, and let us say, Amen. Amen. Please be seated. It's our pleasure to call upon our President, Bruce Sham, to extend greetings and for this evening's announcements.
Good Shabbos, everybody. Happy early, happy New Year, secular New Year. Just a couple announcements. Please pay mind to the schedule and highlights of the office closing for the holidays. We will be on Zoom tomorrow for Torah study and our peer-led service. And next Shabbat, we will be on Zoom only. But on Saturday morning, we will be back here for Torah study and services, okay? So Zoom tomorrow, Zoom on Friday, and then back Saturday, okay? When we come back, you will notice we will now have a guard all day for our children in Seoul. Thank you, everybody, for for participating in our security fund, and we did have a very generous donation by Mark Braverman. I just can't thank you all enough for making sure that this happened, that our children are protected all day, our office and our clergy. There will be somebody here from 7:30 to 5 during the week now. So you will see somebody here, and that is new. So we're pretty excited about that. A couple other quick announcements. I just want to thank everyone who participated in our 8 nights of Hanukkah. We really did very well. We raised over $8,200 for that. Think about that, $18 a family. That was just really, there was no cost to that at all. And so that also will help make sure that, we're safe here. We're gonna do a lot of work with some of the doors and some of the access and for your protection, okay? So we'll let everybody know about that as we progress. I want to thank Brotherhood for the wonderful programs that you did last weekend and for keeping us fed and keeping us happy, right? If you feed them, they will come, right? But we really have had some wonderful programs. If you had not bought your tickets yet for Dueling Pianos, take a look. I understand that's going to be spectacular. We really a lot of people missed that beautiful concert last week. It was just spectacular. I think Dueling Pianos is also going to be wonderful, so please make sure you take advantage of that. Camp scholarships, if you have children that are looking to go to Jewish camps and are in need of some additional funding, we are taking applications now. And don't forget, I keep saying with Piper not being here, we're not mentioning about the food insecurity in our own area. Brotherhood fed over 100 families for Thanksgiving, full turkey dinners with all the trimmings. And, our food pantry, we still continue to have our baskets here for when you come in. So thank you for those of you who bring food. But we still, when you think about the insecurity in our own community, it's sad. It's really sad. So let's not forget that. And I just want to thank Piper for reminding me that I should be talking about that on Shabbat. All right. Good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos. And by the way, Mr. President, it's quite likely that the 8,200 from the 8 nights of giving over Hanukkah is not the full total, because Yelena and Alex have been vacationing in Mexico this past week. So for all we know, it could be well over 10. We'll be sure to let you know. So thank you very, very much for your participation. Thank you, choir, for being with us this evening. We deeply appreciate it. And from what I understand, of course, we'll enjoy, by the way, meet and greet, kiddush and motzi out in the lobby. But now on page 321 for, I can only describe it, Cantor, right, as a very different Adon Olam.
So if you're not tired of the holiday music that you hear everywhere you go, so we decided to bring a little fun ending to this Friday night service, and we're going to sing Adon Olam to the tune of Auld Lang Syne. Fits perfectly. Please join with us. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'Terem Kol Yatzir Nivro Lavid Asav Echefetz Kol Asay Melech Shem V'Acharei Kichlot Hakol Levado Imaloch Noru V'Chu Chayav V'Chu Chover V'Chu Yiyabet Adon Olam Adon Olam Asher Malach B'Terem Kol Yatzir Nivro Lavid Asav Echefetz Kol Asay Melech V'Chu Echad ואין שני לחם שלו לחוק פירו בלי ראשית בלי תכלית ולא כאוס בכה אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברו V'chu Eli v'chai gali v'tzor chavli b'chitzaro v'chu nisiem lat kosi b'yom v'kra Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yatzir nivro Shamo nikra beyado avekid ruchi v'agedisha v'agiro v'agibrochi gaviyati Adon Eli v'lo yirach.
Dear friends and fellow Bethomnics, we are very much aware of the fact that there are many loved ones of our fellow Bethomnics who are not members of the Jewish faith. But to those of you who do celebrate Christmas, we wish you and your loved ones a very merry and joyous time of the year and a very happy Christmas. Shabbat Shalom to us. Good Shabbos. Well, this guy's always, the guy's the sartorial etiquette.